Initiative, determination, speed, and instant obedience. These are the qualities demanded in the Royal Air Force, and here a group of recruits are experiencing their first taste of the thorough physical and mental training which will fit them for the task of fighting in the air. The games, drills, and exercises have speed as their keynote, not muscular development. But it's not all fun and games, and though a month ago these lads were at schools, offices, banks, and technical institutes, they show a lively precision in their drill. PT is an important item in these early weeks, and in a short time the student has reached a peak of physical fitness he never touched before. Queer pastime, but necessary training, as airmen often find themselves in peculiar positions in relation to Mother Earth. But PT is not the whole story. The students attend lectures on many subjects. Here they are learning the Morse code. Lung development, which will be of first-rate importance at high altitudes, is disguised as swimming. Expert trainers make sure that limb by limb, hand, arm, and eye, the whole body is made fighting fit. By the time they have finished their course at an initial training wing, our recruits are tuned up to perfection and are now issued with flying kit. At their next school, they are issued with parachutes, without which they are not allowed to fly. Each man is carefully fitted. This is done in the sitting position, since a pilot sits on his chute in the plane, using it in place of a cushion. Now comes their introduction to the air. The instructor explains the course they're going to fly. Many flying hours will have to be put in before our man's an accomplished pilot. Now our student is in a plane that never flies. The link trainer gives him practice in controlling his machine by use of instruments only. Every movement of the machine is registered on a device called a crab, which is watched by the instructor.
How's that? Not very good. If you'd been in a real plane, you'd have no undercarriage left.
But at length our budding pilot is allowed to take his first solo flight. Now comes the first real test of his ability and self-reliance. While he's flying around, let's see what's happening in the navigation lecture room, where they have to calculate such things as the time of arrival at a certain place, from data given them on direction of wind, its speed, the distance to be flown, and various other known or assumed quantities. Here's our pilot coming into his first solo landing. Bit of a bump. Still, he's had the sense to accelerate so as to come in clean this time. Yes, he's made it. His instructor points out the mistake. Tail up, wrong. Tail down, correct. He tries it again. And this time makes a good landing, a 3.1 too. All three wheels touch the ground at once. When they have finished their full flying instruction at this school, the students, having passed an examination, then go on to the next, where they are separated to become either fighter or bomber pilots. They will now receive their intermediate and advanced training. Here they are before the chief flying instructor of the school, who has their records before him.
We've considered your application for type training and studied your qualifications and previous recommendations. And you, Thompson, will be trained on fighters. Hedden, you'll be trained on bombers as you requested. Matthews, we're going to make you a bomber too.
The sight consists of a fixed bead foresight and a ring backsight. The radius of the ring represents the correct deflection to be made for a relative speed sight of 50 miles per hour at right angles to the line of fire.
The bombers receive part of their training on what is called an AML teacher, which projects a moving aerial photograph onto the floor. The bomb aimer adjusts his bomb sight. The instructor points out a target.
Left, left, steady, right, steady.
As directed, the pilot guides the machine by means of his feet. Directly the switch is released, a light appears, which, allowing for the time the bomb would take to fall, stops where it would have struck. Not bad, he was after the bridge. Another part of their intensive training is done with a track recorder, which plots the accuracy of the pupils bombing from the air. Instead of dropping a bomb, the pupil flashes a light. There it goes, and the accuracy is checked on the recorder. A third method makes use of the camera obscura, which shows an image of the actual plane in the sky. Again, a flash is used instead of a bomb, and the result mathematically worked out. Much of the students' time is still taken up with flying practice, learning how to handle a different type of machine, a type nearer that which they'll have to use when they're really on the job. Now he's making a landing. Watch how the horizon drops as he pulls the stick back, putting the tail down. What's this? It's our fighter pilot in a rocking nacelle, a device whereby firing conditions in the air are partly reproduced on the ground. Determination, another way of training hand and eye. And now comes night flying, for airmen must be able to fly the clock round. All night long, from dusk till dawn, they practice takeoffs and landings with a flare path to show them the way in. Life's of massive intricacies as they work hard for the next exam. But their wings are their reward, and ultimately they're posted to a bomber squadron. At last the time has come, and they take off on their first real operation, one of the many jobs being carried out over half the world by the men of the Royal Air Force.